finished our longest offshore double-handed passage from the Bahamas to Beaufort, North Carolina. And here are some clips of our preparations and the trip. Studying charts, where to go.
IT support.
Getting weather updates. Doing some cooking in advance.
This is the last chance to do a good visual inspection of the rig. After today, if anything breaks or there's any sort of problem, we have to solve it underway. We're just giving the satellite communications system a test, make sure it still works. Logged into the terminal, we have a good signal, it knows where we are. Our system has a IP phone. We keep the U.S. Coast Guard search and rescue number in our contacts. We hope to never dial them, those nice people there. This is the KVH Fleet 1 satellite system. The terminal is mounted back in here. Just a cheap router hanging off that, so we actually can do our emails and communications and weathers and grids just from a phone. This is also what we record our track from.
Popping off diesel. Unpack the dinghy, put stuff away. Take the dinghy off the davits. Yep.
All right.
Okay, we're ready.
Are we cleated?
Yep.
Okay.
And this is what our cockpit looks like as we try and get stuff organized. It's the anti-organization right now. Yes? Yep. Well, this morning is the last morning in the past 7 months to wake up on the islands. It's been a fantastic journey through the Caribbean and the Bahamas. But my mind is focused on being ready for our 3-day offshore, just Bob and I. And we're just getting in the right mind frame to be able to tackle this. We have a great weather window, so it should be a safe and fast sail up the Gulf Stream to Beaufort, North Carolina.
Linda's being a good captain and plotting our waypoints on paper. Is she a good captain?
Neither Bob or I are particularly prone to seasickness, but we found what works for us is scopolamine patch. Got to be careful with this. Definitely go through a doctor because some people have some nasty side effects, but we're okay. And Studron, which you can get in most countries outside the U.S.
We have a no alcohol policy when we do offshore. So I've got my Guadalupe rum. We use this for everything except drinking. We use it to kill fish. This is really awful. And I'm going to use it because my scopolamine patch keeps falling off of my sweaty neck. So I'm going to use this as an alcohol swab to try to dry my neck.
That stuff's good for anything except drinking.
Yeah, it'll also start your engine if you need it.
Fuel tank's topped off. Water tanks are good. Batteries are full. Solar panels are working well.
We left West End, Grand Bahama a couple of hours earlier than we planned.
Getting the sails ready. I'll hopefully go up and not come down for 3 days. Okay, turning up. Okay.
Yep.
You fall off. Yep. Port tack. Got a beam reach for this first leg. Bye, Bahamas. Next stop, Beaufort, North Carolina. 3 days. A little less.
3 days.
Just put a little bit on the backstay. Won't need too much since we're so off the wind.
try to rest as much as possible during the daytime. The overnights are tough for us.
Here I'm resting, and you can get an idea of how noisy it can actually be on the boat with the water rushing by. These are just moderate conditions. These aren't super crazy or bouncy conditions.
We departed West End Grand Bahama at 11:45 a.m. Winds currently are still kind of light, between 10 and 14. Not going too fast yet. We're about on a beam reach, between a beam and a broad, doing about 6.5. We're expecting winds to pick up a bit and our speed to pick up.
After heading west, we did the big jibe as we turned due north into the Gulf Stream at about 79 degrees, 30 minutes west. Alright, there's 8 knots of the Gulf Stream right behind us.
And we could still turn up more.
Fairly light wind here, way behind the beam. We're doing 8 knots with this 2 knots of the stream behind us, so that's it's good. That's what we planned on. Wave motion is better on this tack too. Waves are directly behind us now, so the sails are staying powered up a little bit better. And the wind is supposed to only build from here. It's supposed to go up a little bit for the rest of the passage, and we should just do great heading straight downwind now.
He's very tired, long way from land. Offshore passages are exhausting, especially when conditions are rough. And there's long periods of boredom, interrupted by moments of terror and wonder. Offshore is not usually like this, but I'm enjoying it while it is. This is nice.
Since conditions were so benign, we thought we'd try our luck fishing with the hand line. We didn't have to wait long before we had a hit.
Coming in?
See him right here? It's right here.
Oh, cool. Nice. Maybe 25 pounds, you think?
It's a good one, huh? It's so easy to reel him in on that thing.
That's cool.
It's amazing.
Woohoo! Nice.
Dr. Perry to surgery. Will he live?
I think the patient's gone.
Oh, okay. Well, let's eat him.
Getting better.
Nice. Yummy.
Evening of day 1. Still wing on wing. Middle of the first night. Stars. No moon. We have a tanker to starboard. I just radioed him to make sure he knew I was here, knew I was just a 40-foot sailboat, and requested permission for me to keep my course. It's nice to have first light and have an overnight behind us. These are a little bigger. Wind went up during the night as forecasted to mid to upper teens. Most have been doing 8, 9 knots. Day 2.
We did a few jibes back and forth while in the Gulf Stream to try to keep a little better angle with the wind.
We should have studied the Gulf Stream data a little more carefully compared with our weather router provided waypoints, because we realized we actually ventured out of the stream, frustratingly, a bit, and so we lost a little bit of time, and we're actually motoring a bit due north, despite having about 14 knots of wind behind us, just so that we can get back into the better current of the stream. So we've also replotted and adjusted our waypoints a bit. Okay, end of day 2. Conditions have been good. Sea's built a little bit. I wish the wind would have built a little more, as it's around 14. So we found ourselves driving a few times since we were sailing so low, and actually sailing out of the Gulf Stream for a couple hours and losing some speed. So we actually drive too far to the east for a while. But we're back on course now. We replotted the waypoints, and we'll be able to keep our speed and hopefully still arrive on time as of now.
The second night was pretty rigorous, with higher winds and bigger seas. This first light was especially welcoming.
Just got through our second night. Winds definitely picked up to mostly between 17 and 21, but sometimes it's going up to 25, 26. Seas have picked up too, mostly between 3 and 5, but definitely plenty of 6, 7, and 8ers. But we've been sailing really fast these past 10 hours, probably averaging 9.5 knots. So we're about 2 hours, 2.25 hours ahead of schedule now, which is good. So we've got first light now on the morning of day 3. All going well. After a screaming fast night, we made up a lot of ground. And we're just doing a very, very slow, leisurely downwind sail with only the Genoa out, doing about 6 knots.
Fast enough.
Fast enough so that we don't arrive too early in Beaufort.
So tonight's the last sunset over the ocean,
Yes.
and this is like probably some of the last real blue water we're going to see for a while.
We're gonna miss that. You don't have to keep the kiss.
Really?
Unfortunately, motoring. Wind's right behind us, really light. Hopefully it'll pick up. Seas have settled.
As compensation for all this motoring, we got visited by a nice school of dolphins.
There's 4 now.
We awoke on the last day with Beaufort Inlet just over the horizon. It wasn't long before we could see Cape Lookout light flashing once every 15 seconds. I raised the courtesy flag for the last time on this trip. We were about to have to clear into customs in our own country.
Entering the channel into Beaufort, Sunday morning. Always good to arrive. Beaufort proved to be a perfect way to spend our first week back in the United States. The week was filled with visiting dear friends, fishing for cobia, but catching sharks, sailing a lovely 17-foot gaff-rigged wooden sloop during a small craft advisory, and we participated in the town's popular wooden boat festival. The final night, we anchored out near Cape Lookout before embarking on yet another offshore, this time up and out around Cape Hatteras.